I'm obsessed with it, to be honest. Hello, welcome to Wander and Create with Emma. I'm Emma and this is my monthly vlog episode where I'm going to talk you through all the knitting and crochet projects that I've been working on, as well as projects that I've finished since I last checked in with you. If you're new here, thank you for joining. On this channel we talk all things knitting, crochet and other crafty pursuits. I hope you've been enjoying my leftover yarn series. I've got a few more videos like that planned throughout the year, including next week's video where I'll be researching ideas for leftover yarn that don't include knitting or crochet. So make sure to stay tuned for that and subscribe if you haven't already. But for today's episode, I'm taking a break to have a more general check-in, show you the knitting and crochet projects that I've been working on. Actually, I think I only have knitting projects for this month's check-in. And I can show you the kind of small progress that I've already made on getting through my yarn stash, but it is really small progress so far. So I'll just jump right in and show you my finished objects first. So first up, I have my Journey socks, the shorty version. These are socks that I started when I flew back to the UK for Christmas. You can watch that video now. I started them as a challenge to myself to see if I could knit just one sock on my journey back from Canada to the UK. And I did manage to make one sock, and then I started a second sock on the journey back. And now I have finished them, kind of. Here they are. So it's immediately obvious to everybody. One is slightly shorter than the other and it doesn't fit me. The longer one does. I don't know what happened here, but the shorter one, I guess I got carried away and thought I'd made it long enough and I haven't. So what I need to do is undo the toes and just add kind of ½ inch to the foot and do the toe decreases again. A little bit annoying, but it could be worse. But in general, I love how colourful these are. I should have tried to find out the yarn before I came on here, but I didn't. It was left over. I previously made socks, I think last Christmas, for a family member with this yarn. As you can see, it's kind of self-striping, self-patterning. And this pattern is the Journey sock, which is a sock that I designed and released in 2023. And it's designed intentionally for a project that you can pick up and put down as you're traveling around, whether it be in the car, on the plane, on a road trip, just on your day-to-day errand running. Really simple knit stitches and slip stitches kind of worked inside out to create this end effect. And the actual pattern, I can see hair on this again, and the actual pattern on this is got a calf, but for the challenge I knew I probably wouldn't do a full calf length sock, so I just went for the shorties, and to be honest I need some shorty socks anyway, so this is perfect. Yeah, I love the colourful combination of these. I know this yellow is Cascade Heritage Solid Sock Yarn. I can't remember the name of the colourway, but it is like this mustard bright yellow. Yeah, so happy with them, aside from the adjustment that I do need to make, annoyingly. My next finished object is the woven shawl by Caprinska. Here it is. I started this in November and it was a really lovely project to just pick up and put down. The yarn I made it with is from Willow on the Water, which is a yarn dyer based in Washington on Whidbey Island, and I picked it up from Seabreeze Yarn Store when we visited Whidbey Island and went to Coupeville last year. I love this kind of red variegated look. I really loved this pattern. I think they've both worked together really well. So it's a really nice, easy, you're just working a kind of 7 pattern row repeat. It's a fingering weight yarn. It's a great one skein project, and as I say, it's a really like meditative knit, another one that you can pick up and put down really easily, and one that you can kind of take everywhere because it's relatively small. I really enjoyed this pattern because although they had a recommended like stop, you know, after X amount of row repeats, you ultimately could keep going until you finished your ball of yarn, which is what I did. So at the end, the last few rows changed to a seed stitch, and I thought I was coming to the end, and it actually turned out I had a bit more yarn than I had thought, so I just kept going with the rows of seed stitches until I had almost run out. So it has affected the shape a little bit. I don't know if you can notice. You can see it kind of goes a little bit off there, but I'm really happy with it. It's like a linen look stitch, and it's lovely and drapey, and I never think of myself as a little scarf person, but I'm really enjoying this one. I like it a lot, so I recommend the woven shawl by Caprinska. Go check it out. I can see myself making this again just because it was such a nice one to knit. I think it would be a great gift as well if you enjoy making shawls, have some one skein like souvenir yarns that you have. This is the one for you. I don't know what it's been like where you are, but this week in Vancouver we have had snow, which I really didn't expect. We've been blessed with some bright and sunny, cold but bright and sunny days here the last couple of weeks, and then this weekend it just unexpectedly dumped a load of snow. So today has been snowing even more, and it's looking really pretty and like a snow globe. It's kind of exciting. I didn't expect it in February. Kind of thought maybe we'd just missed the snow this year, but I don't know, it's kind of nice that it's here. It always looks really pretty, even though, you know, I know Vancouver is a bit of a laugh to the rest of Canada because it really doesn't cope well with snow. But honestly, I still think it copes better than the UK does when it snows. But anyway, one more thing that I have that's semi-finished, and that is a new sock design. I wasn't planning to design this year, or my focus wasn't on designing this year because, to be honest, it's like my least profitable aspect of this business. Don't get me wrong, it's all small scale, but the amount of time and effort and money I spend on designing patterns and releasing them, I'm not getting the return on it just yet. And as much as I enjoy the creativity and the making the patterns and the whole process, I thought I wanted to shift my focus away from that a little bit this year. You might have seen a lot of conversations over the last week or so in the knitting and crochet community about the mass sharing of patterns for free and how this hurts the knitting and crochet pattern designers. And I would say that is completely true. You know, the amount of money and time that goes into designing the pattern, from buying the yarn, maybe designing it, paying for a tech editor, organising the testers who are amazing and do it for free, and it's great. And in return for that, they get the free pattern. But yeah, it's a lot of time and money, and as much as I enjoy doing it, it's not been worth it on kind of return yet. And that's something for me to work on. That's my thing. Anyway, off on a little bit of a tangent there, but I did think it was a really important and interesting conversation that came up this week in the knitting community, and it kind of really gets you thinking about how this community works. And I appreciate anyone who has already bought one of my patterns to date. Let me know. Let me tell you, it's really, really appreciated. And every time I see a pattern sale come through, it makes me super, super happy. But having said all that, I did get a wave of creativity. Of course, it's almost as soon as I said that I wasn't going to focus on designing, I had something, I got inspired, and I really couldn't resist. I will show you it now, but I'm not going to talk too much about it because I have a video all around the kind of behind the scenes creation of this pattern, so you'll have to watch out for that closer to the release date. But I will give you a little sneak peek of it now. So it is another sock design, and it's just a very simple heart. So my inspiration for this was actually Sabrina Carpenter. I had seen lots of clips of her tour show, and I love her style, that kind of more 60s retro vibe. In particular, her go-go boots, the platform go-go boots that she wears that have the hearts on the side. It just suddenly made me think, oh, how about a pair of socks like that? So inspired by Sabrina Carpenter's boots, I came up with this. Again, they're Cascade Heritage yarn. The heart is knit in Intarsia in the round, which was a new skill for me, so I've been enjoying learning that one. So it's kind of simple, but with a challenging aspect to it. I'm currently writing up the pattern now, and I'll get sent to tech editing shortly, and then I'll be looking for testers. So if you would like to be a pattern tester for these socks, the best thing to do would be to subscribe to my newsletter, and I'll put the link to that below, because that's the first place that I'll go with my tester call out. So if you're on my newsletter subscriber list, you'll be the first ones able to sign up and put your name forward to test. I'm going to have this in 4 adult sizes, and I'd love to have at least 2 testers per size. So if you're interested, sign up and I will keep you updated as it goes, but I'm hoping to release this pattern probably by April, I think, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so onto my works in progress. Now in my last video, actually no, it was in my stash review video, at the end when I was talking about some ideas I had for my stash, I had this lilac acrylic yarn from Loops and Threads that I had bought and made a baby garment with, but I had like at least 1 ball and a half remaining. And I said that one thing that I might be quite interested in making was the Sophie Hood by Petite knit. You know, the Sophie scarf hugely popular, but I've seen this hood circulating and I was like, that is the one that I want to make. So on Thursday I gave in and I bought the pattern and I did the swatch, and the yarn is maybe slightly off gauge, but I felt like it would be okay because based on the final measurements, my head is quite big. So if the hood is going to be slightly bigger than the schematics of the pattern, I figured that's going to be okay. And so I basically cast on immediately on Friday during my lunch break. Like I just couldn't wait until I got home, took it to work with me, lunch break, worked on that, then continued. I'm obsessed with it, to be honest. Like I probably spent way too much time on it over the weekend. This is where I am at with it. I'm making the medium size, so it's quite long. So you basically start at the bottom and you're working a series of increases for the scarf section, and then you start on the hood and it's kind of shaped. So I've done one side, so it'll be like this, I guess. And then I'm now starting to do the other side, so mirrored. So where this was decreases and shaping, I'm now mirroring it, almost doing the reverse to go down the other side. And then you can see here, this is the shaping of the hood. This will be seamed together to create the hood. Yeah, I'm very excited to wear it. I think I like this lilac colour. I'm not normally a pastel person, but I like it. It's really simple garter stitches with an I-cord edge. And again, it's just another one that's, I think I'm doing so much of it because it is just such a nice one to knit. It's very straightforward, just increases, decreases, the I-cord edging. So it's really nice, and obviously because it is like a worsted weight yarn, it's knitting up really fast. So I feel like I've spent a lot of time on it, but actually maybe it's not too much, it's just that it's knitting up so quickly and that it's all coming together. So I'm super excited for that one. And as it's still cold, I'm hoping that I wear it, I finish making it before it gets a bit warmer, because I really want to wear it this year. I don't want to wait till next winter. So in a way, kind of thankful that the snow is here. It gives me a bit more time to finish this and make the most of wearing it this year and not having to wait to the end of 2025 when the winter comes back round. Something that is not yet a work in progress, but I am making steps to make it a work in progress, is a scrappy version of my Hornby sweater vest that I released last year. It's a crocheted sweater vest made with worsted weight yarn. The original version that I knit was just all one colour, a natural like cream colour. But having looked at my stash, I mentioned this in my yarn stash review video, but I think I'd be quite keen to make a scrappy version of that. So having like different coloured stripes around the body. It's worked in the round, so it'd be quite easy just to change out yarn as I go. And have like a solid green for the ribbing, the armholes and the neckline. So I've just been looking through my stash, picking out some colour combinations that I might like. I think I'm going to make a cropped version. The pattern was designed to go to hip length, but I think I'd quite like a cropped one. It would work well over kind of dresses that I have, and I just think it would be quite fun, like brighten up my otherwise quite neutral winter wardrobe that I seem to have. So yeah, so far I've just been like picking through my yarn stash, getting some colours together, but hopefully I will start that pretty soon, and I will obviously keep you up to date with how that is going. So yeah, that's all I've got on my needles at the moment. We'll see where I'm at in another month. I probably have the hood ready and maybe have started on the Hornby vest, and who knows what else I'll get inspired to do. So as I mentioned, like next week with my leftover yarn series, I'll be making and releasing a video that is all about what you can do with leftover yarn if you don't want to knit or crochet it. So make sure you subscribe to that. And as for what patterns I'm specifically going to be making with my leftover yarn, I'm not too sure yet. I generally want to keep like open-minded and not set myself too many expectations, just because I want to see what comes up over the year. I might find something, a new pattern might be released that I get inspired to make. But there are a few things I have in mind. One that I've mentioned a bunch of times now is the Tsleil-Waututh cushion. So I have 2 cushions that I want to make covers for using that pattern, so I probably will be casting on that fairly soon. And yeah, and then the Hornby sweater vest, so like a scrappy version of that, and it will be cropped as well, just to ensure that I'm going to use up enough yarn, and I kind of just want a cropped version anyway. And then the other pattern that I have in mind is the Imber socks by Sophie Hood. I knit a shorty pair of them last year and I really enjoyed it. I love that kind of houndstooth design, so I'd quite like to make a full length sock version of that using some yarn that I have in my stash, so I'll probably almost definitely be doing that at some point this year. But yeah, other than that, keeping it open for now. I know there's a lot of patterns that I came up in my last video that I like the look of and may get around to doing. Some people in the comments suggested patterns which I liked the sound of as well, so thank you for that if you're one of the people that had some pattern suggestions. But yeah, keep the suggestions coming, and obviously I will keep you in the loop of what I end up making. But thank you for watching today's video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Don't forget to sign up to my newsletter if you're interested in testing out my new socks, or in general, that's probably the best place to connect with me, because that's where you'll get all updates of all things Wander and Create with Emma, from the vlogs and blogs to pattern publishing and pattern testing and all other things like exclusive pattern sales, etc, etc. So go sign up. But I will see you next time. Have a good week. I'll speak to you soon.